Today I would like to ask you, what is your number one fertility concern? So go ahead and start typing because I'd like to know and I'd like to offer support if I can, but I'm going to talk while I wait for people to type. So we frequently ask this question across our social media platforms, specifically Facebook, and people come to us with a variety of different concerns. Although most often, you might not believe this, but most often it's around age. Women are fearful and sad and upset and concerned about their aging and still wanting to be fertile, and some of them, of course, wanting to be able to conceive naturally. This is a very common concern. Many things go along with aging, one of which is low AMH. And so we try to help women through that emotion. There is no stopping the aging process, right? We know that. We would love to go back a little bit at one point or another, most of us, but it's not possible. And I guess the ultimate goal being that we need to do as much as we can as we age to hopefully feel great and live a healthy lifestyle and help ourselves achieve our fertility goals along the way. That really is what we need to do. Yes, AMH is definitely a concern. So in regards to aging and worrying about aging, there are one thing that's really important to know is we have to try to work through those emotions. And this isn't even only for women who are aging and trying to conceive. It's actually for all of us. Every single one of you who's posted something so far, I'm certain, has had an emotion around the issue that you're dealing with. It's really important to work through those emotions, because emotions that we don't regularly release, talk about, seek support for, help, get off our chest, can actually be held in the body. They're stored in our energy fields and some of our tissues. It's been proven by medicine, by science, that the body creates and holds on to stress hormones when the emotions are suppressed. So it's very important to work through your emotions and your stress. These emotions, this energy, this negative energy, can actually get stuck inside of us and lead to imbalances, impair healthy organ function, contribute to infertility even. It's amazing. Grief and bereavement actually settle and bring sadness to our hearts, but also our uterus and our ovaries. So if you're grieving and you aren't working through that grief in what feels like a healthy way for you, it's time to seek help, because it could be the reason you're not ovulating, or it could be the reason that implantation isn't happening and you're having repeated losses, or implantation happens and you're having repeated losses. Fear and anxiety can harm our kidneys and our urinary tract and are believed to actually inhibit male and female sexual function and sexual desire. So if you are afraid of a procedure, afraid of another loss, having anxiety around infertility or the fertility health issue that you're dealing with, and you don't have libido, those two are most likely connected. So those are just some very important or very brief, basic ways that our body holds on to that negative energy and those emotions. But I can't stress enough, it's really important to reframe that fear, doubt, anger, sadness, disbelief, grief, shame, guilt. We need to reframe them. We need to figure out how to let go of those emotions as much as we can. All of us, no matter your age. So, what is your number one fertility concern? I saw some people post things. Women who are in their 30s can have low AMH. We have entire videos and guides on AMH if you're interested in working through that. Should BBT in the luteal phase be flat or seesaw? Mine this month is seesaw. It can fluctuate a little bit. Your BBT should be elevated in relation to your follicular phase. Follicular phase should be low, can go up and down or seesaw, as you say. There's a huge, usually a really big, substantial dip at ovulation, and then it should go back up. And it should stay up here and can seesaw some throughout the luteal phase. If you get to the end of your cycle and you don't see a period and your BBT stays raised, even though it is seesawing, it's time to test for pregnancy. If you get to the end of your cycle and you're having a seesaw and your BBT dips down and stays down again, more at this level, your period is probably coming or did start, and then you're going to start the next cycle over. Does that make sense? So it can go up and down in the luteal phase. Yeah. Where was I? I saw some people posting, like I said, about AMH levels in their younger, 31, 33, in your 30s. And that can happen. That's typically a sign that there's some hormonal imbalance or something going on, obviously. But definitely go seek those guides in my past videos about AMH levels. How could my fallopian tube that is not blocked not be working? That would be a great question to ask your doctor. Is the fallopian tube actually moving, doing that, moving, rolling motion that needs to happen for the fimbria at the end, which actually looks kind of like my hand right now, to grab the egg and help it make its way down? Is there that muscle contraction happening? Could there be fluid in it? I don't know. That's a great question. You're going to need to ask your doctor about that. I'm not sure. The fallopian tube question. Ask your doctor why he or she thinks it's not working properly. If you only have one fallopian tube, you need to know that ovulation happens from one ovary on one side 1 month and the other ovary on the other side the other month. So in order to be able to conceive naturally, you're going to have to learn when you ovulate to the T, to the day, and from what side. Like, figure out how to learn that so that you can be actively trying to conceive for sure during the cycles you ovulate from the ovary on the side of that fallopian tube. Does that make sense? There are some theories that fallopian tubes will reach around to the other ovary. I don't know how much I believe that. I mean, our bodies are amazing, but that's really amazing. I know that has happened here and there, but the better way to approach it is to learn exactly when you ovulate from the ovary on the side of the healthy or the fallopian tube that's remaining. Yeah. What else? What is your number one fertility concern? So in regards to controlling your thoughts and emotions, or transforming your thoughts and emotions, I'll just keep talking on that topic while I wait for someone to post something. Lack of ovulation, that is a tough one. How about my husband's age? Lack of ovulation, there are many things you can be doing. If your ovaries are still functioning, massage and castor oil packs would be worth learning about. Maca and Vitex, exercising, tribulus, all of these things support ovulation. Is almond oil sperm friendly? I do believe so. 45 years old and I'm 37, your husband is 45. There are many things that men can do to support fertility health, but men continually make new sperm. Their sperm age only for a short time before new ones are made. They are not born with all the sperm they'll have their whole life. They're making sperm on a repeated cycle until they're almost their entire lives, to be honest. So what your husband does now will impact or hopefully better the health of the sperm that he's making on a regular basis. So he can be eating well, he can be exercising, reducing exposure to any toxins through his job. All the things that women can do to support egg health, men can be doing too. So age is not as much of a factor for men. Doesn't seem fair, but it's reality. Yeah. About controlling your emotions and changing your emotions around the fertility concern that you have. How do you do that? I know it's not easy, and there isn't any foolproof recipe for always being able to overcome an emotion or in any specific amount of time. You have to trust that all the good that you're doing for your body, the diet changes, the exercise, the supplements you're taking, the emotional work and the support you're getting is working. You've got to put some faith and some trust into that natural fertility program that you've started. You need to believe in yourself and believe in the power that you have the ability to be fertile. I can't tell you how to do that. Everyone's going to do that differently. So you just have to find it in you at some point to believe. What might a skyrocket BBT mean in the luteal phase? Mine almost went off the chart today. Did you have interrupted sleep? Were you super stressed yesterday? Did you take it at the wrong time? Could your thermometer be going on the fritz? Were you super hot in your sleep last night? Are you ovulating right now? Is it every 3-month renewal in regards to sperm? Men produce sperm all the time, repeatedly, but there is the thought process is that how do I explain this in a way that's going to make sense? Allowing 3 months time to support sperm health is going to be really beneficial to all those sperm made in that time, right? But because men make new sperm all the time, there probably are some that are going to be healthy all the time. I'm not making sense. There is a time frame of renewal, but it's not as long as for eggs. Does that make sense? For men, it's a little bit different. And they produce millions and millions and millions and millions of sperm, as opposed to just a few eggs that we've got and the one that gets chosen to be ovulated. So supporting sperm health is just a little bit different than supporting egg health, although a lot of the things that women do, men can do as well. I know it may not answer your question. Did I? I don't think I did. I feel like I'm floundering with that one. Anyone else who might know something, join in. I'm not an expert. I mean, I am in some things, but not everything. Back to transforming your emotions while we wait for something else. I want you to find joy. If you're struggling in some way on your fertility journey and you are sick of timing and charting and taking your supplements and thinking and worrying about this appointment or that appointment, take a little break. It's okay to take a day off. Or if you don't want to take a day off, it's okay to go treat yourself to something that you love, to go look at beautiful things in a museum, to have a massage, to go for a walk in the park, to buy yourself some flowers, to have that latte that you haven't had for months because you are trying to do everything that you can to be as healthy as possible. One latte is not going to set you back that far. Go enjoy the salad that you love. Call a friend. Lay in bed all day, binge watch Netflix or some sort of movie you've been wanting to see. It's okay to take some time off and to take a little bit of a break. Reconnect with yourself. It's completely okay. Be mindful. Learn about mindfulness and being mindful of your thoughts. Try as hard as you can to catch your negative thoughts and transform them to positive ones. That's something that takes practice. I have a variety of videos and articles about writing affirmations, and there are even some positive affirmations on our site already written for you if you'd like to use them. But trying to catch the negativity and the series of negative thoughts is going to be really important so that you can transform those into more positive thoughts. It's super duper 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 important to stop comparing yourself to another woman or couple. You and I are not at all alike. We both may carry the gender female, but that doesn't mean that we're anything alike in our physical appearance, our physical body, or even our emotions. It's hard to not resent the pregnant woman that you see walking down the street. But her life is not yours. Her processes aren't yours. Her thoughts are not yours. She has a beating heart. She may have gone through struggles she may not have, but you can't control that. So if you're jealous and if you're harboring resentment towards friends or family member, you need to get some support in working through that. Talk therapy is fantastic. Counseling is fantastic. If you're religious, perhaps some work around that with, some sort of team or group within your parish. Anything like that is really helpful. It's time to get some help if you're dealing with jealousy. Anything around strengthening your mind-body connection is a way to work through the emotions of having a fertility concern. You have to figure out how to be your most fertile self in your body, which you're probably already doing through diet and supplements and exercise and all of the things you've done, cleansing, supporting egg health, supporting sperm health. But what about your mind? Are you supporting your most fertile mind? Reducing stress, I've kind of touched on that, but we definitely need to reduce stress because we know chronic stress, if you're under extreme stress and long-term stress, your body is going to start functioning to keep you alive. Your heart beating, your lungs moving, your eyes working, your appetite even, and it's going to take away from those other not so necessary processes for keeping you alive. You know, we don't have to be fertile to be alive. Our hearts need to beat and our lungs need to work, and we need to digest our food as best as possible. We need to be able to eat. We don't need to be able to ovulate to stay alive. And I know that's really sort of harsh sounding, I get that, but if you're continually under chronic stress, your body's not going to help you have a regular menstrual cycle. Mostly, seek support. If you're struggling and you can't work through the emotions, or you're using all these tools and you're still not quite there yet, and you know something is wrong mentally and emotionally, it's okay to ask for help. And it might not be from your partner or your friend or anyone in your family. Seek support from someone who's neutral, someone who isn't invested. There are a variety of different ways to do that. Your doctor will know of counselors or therapists. Like I said, if you belong to a church or if you're religious, any sort of religious connection could be one. There are a variety of different support groups online. We can get you that information. If you're interested, you can reach out to our team, and we have those resources for you too. Do you believe that the withdrawal method is effective? I'm not sure I caught that whole last question. Ask it again. Someone mentioned yoga earlier. I know that a lot of people love yoga, and there's a whole group of people who don't. But yes, yoga is an incredibly effective way to help calm the mind and help you breathe deeper, as well as a very physical exercise. There's lots of stretching and bending and moving, and it's very great for a mind-body connection, indeed. Can you ask me a question again about, I'm scared to say it, there's some interesting names joining right now. But someone asked about the withdrawal method and fertility. I guess ultimately with any fertility health concern, because no one's sharing with me any more of theirs, it's very important to do all that you can. Learn all that you can about your fertility health issue and your concern. Seek out reputable sources for information. We hope you find that our resources are reputable. There are a variety of natural health doctors who write about female fertility and herbalists who write about it as well. So seek out all the information that you can about it. If you can read scientific studies and you understand them, you certainly could go that far. But if you don't understand how to read scientific studies, try not to go there because they can be alarming, and you have to be able to know if the study is skewed or not and read between the lines sometimes. It's very interesting. But naturally support your egg and your sperm health. Eat as healthy as you possibly can. Exercise as much as you feel is right for you. Create your fertility team. That might include your medical doctor and someone from, an herbalist or a midwife or a naturopath or someone from our site, for example. My concern is that I've been in the withdrawal method and haven't gotten pregnant. Well, if your husband's withdrawing and you're having sex at ovulation, you're not likely to conceive. I guess I'm not sure I understand. And I missed that next question. Go ahead and post again. For years. I'm still not sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So you're not using any form of protection when you're trying to conceive. But he's withdrawing? I still am not understanding. I'm sorry. Are you wanting to get pregnant or not? I'm just not clear on what you're talking about. If you want to get pregnant, you need to know when you're ovulating or when your fertile window is. And then your soon-to-be or now husband needs to be ejaculating inside of you during that fertile window multiple times, the day before ovulation and the day of for certain. If you don't want to be conceiving in your mind, how powerful is that? If he's withdrawing and you're having unprotected intercourse during your fertile window and you're believing you don't want to be pregnant, it's most likely the withdrawal that there's no ejaculate inside of you, no sperm getting inside of you. But it could also be your mind. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, we have talked about the power of the mind. Did I get it finally? So it could be both. It's most likely both. I mean, you certainly need sperm to reach the egg to conceive, but if you're, so the withdrawal piece is probably a large factor in your situation. But it could also be your mind. What is your opinion on aging women like 37 for having a healthy baby? My opinion doesn't matter. Thanks for asking. What we know, what we need to share really is what we know. And what we know is that many 37-year-old women who are healthy get pregnant and have very healthy babies. It's true. We also know that many women who are 37 have a multitude of fertility health issues and hormonal imbalances that prevent them from conceiving for numbers of years, and then they end up well in their 40s still wanting to conceive, and their eggs are even that much older. So no one can say at age 37 you will not conceive, or you will have a problem conceiving, and and pregnancy will be this way or that. We don't truly know that. But what we know is that at roughly age 35, most doctors believe that fertility health begins to decline. And as you reach 40, it begins to decline rather rapidly. That doesn't mean that you won't conceive, because like I said, we don't know. But I want you to believe it's possible. There has to be belief that it's possible. If you're doing everything that you can, if you're doing, trying to be as healthy as possible, it's very possible. Yes, some women in their 20s have fertility health issues. That's reality, because we live in a time where the standard American diet has been very detrimental to our health. We live in a time where young children, teens, and women in their 20s are very stressed and deal with a lot of anxiety. We live in a time where health is in general much lower for a lot of us, or we're living unhealthy lifestyles up until we realize, oh my gosh, I got to do some changing. There's just a variety of reasons. Fertility health issues you're not immune to fertility health issues at any age. I'm worried that the vasectomy that I had will make me impotent. Try not to worry about it. If you have concerns, talk to your doctor. Make sure you have allowed a lot of time to heal. And then if you do have a bit of impotence or things have changed, there may be things you can do naturally. But just because you had a vasectomy doesn't mean there will be impotence. That doesn't happen for every man. If you're a virgin at age 37, I don't know that there should be any concern at all, to be honest. But there are still, you could still consider supporting egg health naturally. Not having had sex, there isn't a concern about not having had sex. The concern comes in as we age about egg health, because all of the eggs that we have and ovulate throughout our life have been with us since birth. So the older we get, the more aged our eggs are, and that's when there becomes more of a concern. Egg quantity can be low, egg health can be low, because they've been exposed to all the toxins and things that we've been exposed to throughout our life. Yeah. Was it helpful? I hope so. All right, everyone. I actually have a meeting to get to that I fear that I'm a little bit late for. So if you have a fertility health concern and you'd like support, natural support, please reach out to us through our websites. And please share with us here any more concerns that you have, because others may hopefully chime in with support and love and offer tips that have worked for them maybe. And we'll come around again to this another time, I'm sure. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for all the questions, and we'll see you another day. All right, bye-bye.